You didn't choose what you dreamed about last night. Something else made the decision, and they've been testing it on people like you for decades. There's a rumor that inside ordinary sleep labs and perfectly normal psychology studies, there's a second project no one talks about out loud. A project that doesn't just watch what you dream, it tries to rewrite it. We know for a fact that real people have been kept under heavy sedation, with recorded messages playing over and over while they slept, part of brutal experiments that tried to erase memories and alter behavior in ways no one fully understood. Those experiments are documented. They exist in official reports and academic history. What no one can agree on is what survived after those programs were shut down. Because some people swear they never left the experiments behind. They're still meeting the same symbols and the same strangers in their dreams. Tonight, I want to tell you about the society they blame, the ones they call the Somnari. No public logo, no website, just a pattern. Sleep labs, clinical trials, wellness apps, and whispered stories about dreams that feel deliberate. You like to tell yourself that your dreams are random, just your brain firing off sparks in the dark. But for decades now, while you sleep, other people have stayed awake, watching your brainwaves in glowing lines, listening to the sounds you make in the night, mapping exactly what happens when a thought becomes a dream. They know when your eyes start to flicker behind your eyelids. They know when you're falling, running, trapped. And in some rooms, they don't just measure, they push. There are real devices built to guide dreams, playing sounds or words right as you slip into sleep, nudging your mind towards specific images. Scientists call it dream incubation, a harmless way, they say, to help you solve problems or have nicer dreams. But once you know how to nudge a dream, you also know how to aim one. That's the part that keeps certain researchers up at night, not because they're doing it, but because they're worried someone else will. Someone who looks at your dreams and doesn't see something private or sacred. They see a window they can crawl through. According to the stories, that's where the Somnari began, not as a robed cult in a basement, but as a small circle inside real institutions, a handful of psychologists, neurologists, and corporate visionaries who realized that sleep was the last place no one had managed to fully control. They watched the old experiments where people lay in hospital beds, sedated and helpless, while the same recorded sentence played into their ears for hours, days, weeks. They saw the damage, the blank eyes, the scrambled personalities, and instead of turning away in horror, they asked a different question. What if we don't try to break someone's mind when they're awake? What if we learn to write directly inside their dreams? That's where the witnesses say the pattern starts. Not written down, never official. Just a series of projects that seem to echo each other. Studies that claim to explore harmless things like, how can we help people dream about what they want to achieve? How do we guide nightmares into more positive stories? On paper, those sound almost kind, helpful, therapeutic. But the people who talk about the Somnari tell a different kind of story. They talk about doors, voices, and symbols that follow them for years. Sarah was 34 the first time she told anyone about her hallway. She's an accountant. She doesn't believe in ghosts. She hates horror movies. but for 12 years, she's been walking the same corridor in her sleep. You might know the feeling, that one dream that keeps coming back like a rerun. The same room, the same smell, the same wrongness. For Sarah, it always began with the lights, fluorescent tubes buzzing overhead, casting a sick, humming glow over everything. The walls were the color of old teeth. The air felt heavy, like she was deep underground. At the far end of the hallway stood a single door, metal, featureless, except for a brass handle that caught the light. The first time, curiosity won. She reached out and tried to turn it. It didn't move. As she pulled harder, she heard something from the other side. A voice, muffled, close. Not yet. You'll know when it's time. She woke up, gasping, heart hammering in the dark. It was just a dream. Of course it was just a dream. Until it came back. The second time, the fifth, the 10th. The hallway grew sharper with every visit. The walls picked up tiny cracks. The metal door showed scratches around the handle, like other hands had tried before hers. And the voice grew clearer. It's almost time. Years passed. Different apartments, different jobs, different bed. Same hallway, same door, same feeling that something or someone was waiting just on the other side. She tried all the usual explanations: stress, repressed memories, too much caffeine. Then one night, after another hallway dream, she lay awake scrolling through her phone, trying to distract herself. An article caught her eye. It was about a sleep lab running experiments on guiding people's dreams with sounds and images. They were trying to see if they could make strangers all dream about the same place. The example picture in the article made her drop her phone. A fluorescent hallway, long, windowless. At the end, a door with a brass handle. She told herself it was a coincidence, until she read the description of the experiment. First, they played the sound of humming fluorescent lights through headphones as people drifted off. Then, a quiet, calm voice on repeat. Walk toward the door. Don't open it yet. You'll know when it's time. Sarah had never taken part in that study. She'd never even lived in that city. So why had she been walking that hallway for years? Why had she heard that same line whispered through the metal? The article never mentioned the Somnari. It never mentioned any secret society. But at the very bottom, in tiny text, was a list of companies that had funded the research. One of them made sleep tracking apps, the same one Sarah had been using for almost a decade. Every night, she had set her phone on the nightstand, let it listen to her breathing, let it map her movements, handing over her most vulnerable hours in exchange for a neat little graph in the morning. The app told her how efficiently she slept, how long she spent in deep sleep, how often she dreamed. She had never wondered what else it was learning about her. According to the rumors, that's where the Somnari live now, not in hidden temples, but in the blank spaces of user agreements, in research grants, in the overlap between people who study dreams and people who want to sell things to you. Some researchers have already warned about a future where companies try to plant images directly into your dreams, so you wake up already wanting something, already afraid of something, already trusting something. To the people who talk about the Somnari, that future feels less like a warning and more like a rough draft. They say the Somnari started small, with test subjects who signed long forms they barely read, people who thought they were helping cure nightmares or studying creativity. But then the stories changed. They started coming from people who never stepped inside a lab, like Daniel. He'd always had vivid dreams, not nightmares exactly, just intense. But around his 30th birthday, they shifted. He started dreaming about people he'd never met. Not monsters, not faceless shapes, just men and women in plain clothes, always a little too still. They didn't speak, they only watched. Sometimes, behind them, he could see a symbol on the wall, a circle cut by a vertical line, with 3 short horizontal marks like steps. It showed up on doors, badges, and the backs of chairs. Every time he woke, the details faded, but the symbol stayed. He forgot about it during the day, until it followed him out of sleep. He saw it in a blurred logo, on a paper at his doctor's office, on a flyer about a restorative sleep study, on the loading screen of a mindfulness app his therapist recommended. The symbol was never exactly the same, sometimes thicker, sometimes thinner, stylized, rotated, but his body knew it. Whenever it appeared, he felt that same pressure in his chest that he only got in those dreams, sitting under the gaze of those silent strangers. He started keeping a notebook by his bed, sketching the symbol the second he woke up. On good nights, the lines matched perfectly. On bad nights, his hand shook too much. In one dream, one of the watchers finally spoke. "You're adapting well," they said. "To what?" he asked. Nobody answered. When he told a friend about it, she laughed and sent him a link, an article about recurring characters in dreams that psychologists were trying to study. At the end, buried in the comments, someone had written 2 words: "Trust Somnari." The comment had no profile picture, no history. When he refreshed the page, it was gone. Most people don't notice patterns like that. They wake up, shake off the dream, and scroll. But the ones who do, the ones who start keeping notebooks, screenshots, timelines, their stories all sound strangely alike. Doors, symbols, strangers who feel less like figments and more like observers. None of that by itself proves anything. We know that recurring dreams are real. We know that the brain can pull symbols from tiny moments you barely remember. We know that sleep labs and devices exist that can gently steer the contents of a dream with sounds and cues. That's all documented. That part is true. The Somnari? No one can show you a roster. No one can leak a meeting schedule. Maybe that's why the rumor survives, because you can't point to a single building and say, "They're in there." If a group like that exists, they wouldn't need a building at all. They'd live in the spaces between things, in the labs that test how long you dream, in the companies that collect the sounds of your sleep, in the quiet agreements between people who think the human mind is just another place to be optimized, branded, sold. You tell your phone when you're going to bed. You let it listen to you breathing. Some of you let it record everything that happens in your room all night, just to label it as snoring or talking. You log your nightmares into apps that promise to help you understand them. There's no evidence that dreams are being controlled at scale, no proof of a single hand guiding millions of minds at once. But there has never been a time when more people voluntarily record their sleep. If a secret society wanted to study millions of dreams at once, they wouldn't need a single underground bunker. They just need you to keep pressing I agree. So tonight, when you close your eyes and the edges of your room start to blur, pay attention. If you find yourself in a hallway you don't remember, standing before a door you never chose, if you see a symbol that doesn't belong to any memory you have, or meet a stranger who feels like they've been waiting for you a very, very long time, ask yourself, is this just a dream your brain stitched together from scraps of your day? Or is someone out there, awake, watching the same pattern flicker across a screen and taking notes? If you've ever had the same stranger, the same room, or the same impossible symbol follow you through your dreams for years, write those stories in the comments. I read every one of them. And if the Somnari are real, someone else might be reading them too.